Hey girlies, welcome back to the Real House Guest of North Hollywood. I am your host, Carson Frey. Um, so much happened this week in Bravo. I can't cover it all. I really can't. We're just going to jump right into Bravo news. So Variety came out with an article announced that Summer House, Watch What Happens Live, Southern Hospitality, The Valley, all returning, renewing, coming back. And also in that article, I believe, yes, it cleared Andy Cohen of like all the allegations, which none of us cared about that anyway. Like all my friends and stuff were texting like, "Oh, do you think Andy's not going to come back to Watch What Happens Live because someone said he did cocaine with a housewife?" I'm like, no, not at all. Mikkel, Lucia, and Odin from Southern Hospitality. So Odin, I think that's how you say his name. He's like the Irish one, the milk OnlyFans model. Lucia's the one that has a child. And then I feel like Mikkel wasn't really in the second season anyway. They're all out. And I heard Joe Bradley and Maddie are dating now, which I'm very excited to see like this next season. Like Southern Hospitality definitely gives early VPR days. If you haven't seen it, catch up now. Like the first season there's only 2 seasons out and it's so good. Sheena, so we're going to get into the VPR whole finale later, but she said on her podcast today with Matt Rogers that she doesn't talk to Ariana or Sandoval right now. Lala Kent might be joining the Valley. And in the article, they said if she joins the Valley, she'll still be on next season of VPR. If there's another season of VPR, again, we'll get there in the VPR recap, I promise you. Do you guys want to see more Lala? Like, I am not a huge Lala fan, honestly, right now. I used to be, not right now. I am interested kind of seeing her in the Valley dynamic more, just because her story with motherhood is very interesting. It is. It just is. I would love to see that more. And she is like a reality TV, like she's a Kristen type. She's just made for it. So I would like to see her on the Valley. But I do really like on the Valley that we don't have all these reality stars, superstars who know what they're doing. Like, I've seen a lot of people say, and I kind of agree, will that kind of mess it up, like having them over there? I don't know. And then Andy Cohen was in Hollywood Reporter. I think it was the cover. I don't know. I read it online. Yeah. I read it online, but it's really interesting to read just more about, like, if you don't know that much about his career, like, he was told by his mentor he would never be an on-camera talent because he's not charismatic enough. So I think it's, like, really worth reading if you haven't already. Southern Charm is near the end of filming. Here are all the filming rumors. Most of this all comes from Queens of Bravo. If you don't follow Queens of Bravo, stop what you're doing now. Go to their Instagram page. Literally. Tension between Austin and Craig apparently has something to do with Paige. Craig apparently had a major meltdown. Madison's husband and JT are feuding. And which that means Madison's coming for JT, which I need to see. I cannot stand JT, and Austin couldn't take him down. Austin was not the man to take JT down. Madison, she is the woman. And I like Queen Madison, love you, girl. Ariana's returning to Chicago. Surprise, surprise, not surprised at all. And on Vanderpump Rules Bravo news, are any of you guys following Joe's Instagram lives? Like, I think one last night that came out where she was reading out loud the text of Schwartz saying, "Leave me alone. Stop talking about me. I do not want to be with you. Stop talking about my girlfriend." And you could definitely tell from the text message. I was like, Schwartz's girlfriend wrote that. I doubt Schwartz would ever stand up for a woman that way. And if he did, Actually, I hope he did. I hope he learned. I hope he wrote that text. But, Sophia, we know you wrote it. But, Schwartz, you sent that text. You sent those boundaries. But the fact that she read it on Instagram Live is just beyond cringe. Like, I think the audience was starting to empathize with her, like, throughout kind of the last half. And then she is just ruining it. All right. VPR finale. Was it a season finale or was it a series finale? So we open up in bed and everyone just talking about the tension with Dan and Tom Sandoval meeting, and they're all kind of like building it up to be this thing, and Dan really knows how to play it with like a narcissist. He's just like, I'm not playing into it. I'm not doing it. What is this mustache going on with Brock though? And did you guys see that in the VPR finale? Like, like it gave me the EBGBs. Like, it honestly gave me like 7th grade math teacher vibes in a way that makes me uncomfortable. And you know why else it also made me uncomfortable is because throughout that I was like, oh, what's going on with this mustache? Why is he Tom Sandoval's number one support? Why is he his number one support? And I was like, oh, they recognize each other. Like, I want to like Brock because I do love that he like worships Sheena. I think every man should like worship the woman they're with. But he kind of worships Tom Sandoval a little too much. And then Brock also says like Tom's the best one in the friend group, and Sheena's just like, no, you're wrong. And she brings up all the times Ariana's been there for her and how, and it's like she shouldn't have to prove that to Brock. Like, Brock's like out of his place, like bringing this up. I kind of really did love like Lala and Katie cuddling in bed watching Real Housewives in Beverly Hills. I was like, this is girlhood. There should have been this more throughout the season. I wish Lala was a girl's girl. We all know we have no hope for Sheena, but I had hope for Lala. And in that moment, I had hope, and then I lost it all at the end. And then they're all kind of like exploring San Francisco. I was nauseous just looking them go up and down the trolleys. If you guys have ever been to San Francisco, like, be prepared to puke. Like, and not in the sense it's like gross or anything. Like, I love it. If I could afford to live in the Bay Area, like, I probably would. But there's so many hills. It is just so much nausea going up and down, up and down. Did you guys think Ariana felt more affectionate with Dan? I thought she did, but then I saw online people were like, oh, it's forced chemistry. It's like, did you see her and Sandoval? Like, when they were dating? Like, it's hard now in the discourse of the show because I feel like a lot of people have only seen the last 2 seasons. And it's like, there's a lot else besides, like, that's gone on. Sheena is just not reading the room just every single time she goes to Ariana and just wanting Ariana's approval. It's just, ugh. Schwartz tries to stand up for Sandoval and Ariana, like, while they're all eating. And Ariana goes, no. She shuts it down so well. And I'm not, like, an Ariana stan. Like, I'm critical of everyone on VPR. But Ariana, the way she shuts that down in that moment, I absolutely love. And I love how Katie shuts down Brock. She goes, Brock, we've known you for, like, 2 years. Look, this is little Katie Maloney right here. A little sugar here. She's, like, she wants me to touch her. But if I touch her too much, she's going to bite me. Kind of like Katie. Schwartz, though, he tries to stand up for Ariana, and she's just like, absolutely not. And then Katie, you know, shuts him down. Joe and Schwartz meet up. And in that moment they met up, I was like, they're kind of perfect for each other. Like, they're terrible and dorky and awkward, but they're perfect for each other. My mind changed once again seeing the Instagram lives. Like, I don't love that part of VPR right now, how there's like another season of watching just like these Instagram lives of people that, I don't know. I mean, maybe that is the fun of Bravo, is like all the Twitter stuff and the online beef and the watch. Do I love that or do I hate that? I don't know. And then Schwartz like irons, I hate that word. He irons her dress for her. And then in his confessional, he says she looks like a little girl. And I found that to be really mean because they have had sex. And so it's kind of degrading as a woman when you've had sex with someone and they're saying you look like a little kid. Yeah, I think Schwartz's exact words were, she looks like a little kid that broke into her mother's makeup, which I don't like Joe, but that's mean. I absolutely cringe when Schwartz tells Sandoval that about Dan and like talking about it. And he's like, well, she has good taste in men. Gross. And then Lala and Katie have a conversation about Sheena's like constant talking about like Tom to Ariana. And it just kind of comes down to Sheena has such a need for approval. And it's really the fans, it's hard for us to see beyond. And like, I know she knows what we're saying. We know she watches everything. I wouldn't be surprised if she has like a blocked account or she has one of those black like accounts like watching my TikToks. Even though I have no followers, no one knows me. I feel like she watches and knows everything. Do you think it's Brock going through everything that's like hashtag Sheena? Maybe that's how I'll get more views on the podcast. Hashtag everything Sheena. That would be so mean. I would never. I love you, Shishi. And I make fun of you, Sheena, because those parts of you that need approval, I have that too. And I don't like that about myself. But I'm not on a reality show displaying it. So we're going to talk about it in You, Not Me. Okay, thank you. So then we're at like Kyle Chan's event. Everyone starts to arrive. Why does it feel like prom? Because they're all like so dressed up. It really, really feels like prom. Ariana says she has a sty infection. She's like, I have a sty infection. And then Sheena says like, oh, I don't have any breast milk. And when I first watched it, I was like, oh my God, Sheena, like, did you hear? She said she has a sty infection. What does you not having breast milk have anything to do with it? Danny Pellegrino thought the same thing. And then I saw he put on his Instagram that people were like, hey, breast milk cures styes. So you learn something more every day. Sheena was listening to her. She was trying to be helpful, and she was just out of breast milk. Allie is so real when she goes outside with James, and she's like, I love it. I'm having so much fun, but I want to leave. That's my vibe everywhere. I love it. I'm having so much fun. I'm so glad to be here. I just want to be home with my animals. Like, look, if you had a like kitty like mine and Allie, I love how she says I miss Hippie. Girl, we know you miss Mr. Banks. I would too. Joe's there at the event, and it just feels a little overly produced, her being there, because her and Schwartz ended things. So it's like, it's just so clear that Schwartz didn't invite her, production invited her. Do you think she got paid? I think she got paid like a day rate maybe. I don't know. Schwartz just leads Joe to the fire. He leads her to the fire, and then it was like, it's going to be okay. Doesn't stick up for Joe at all. He knew what would happen. He knew how Katie would react. And I think what Katie did in the scene too is there's a lot of criticism about Ariana. We're jumping ahead a little bit, but like her refusal to film a one-on-one scene with Sandoval. She's just holding her boundaries. Katie's holding her boundaries too, saying, oh, I don't want to talk to you. But she does it in a way that we can still watch and take in. So I can't criticize her for it because it's still giving story. I don't hate Ariana for having boundaries. I respect her for it. I commend her for it. But from a television point of view, we're not getting any like story moving forward, you know? Joe says sorry if, and Katie goes, sorry if? Bitch, just say you're sorry if you're sorry. And you can't apologize wanting something from them. You know, like Joe goes in saying, I'm going to apologize, so she apologizes to me. Katie's not sorry though. You want her to do something, and Katie's just sniffing it out of you. And I love how strong Katie is in this moment. Tom thanks Brock for sticking up for him. Sheena, once again, for the maybe 20 millionth time this season, she cries in her confessional, says it's all so hard for her. Like, imagine your two best friends break up and you find a way to make it all about you. Once again. Sandoval then goes up to Dan to introduce himself, and Dan is like, I feel like he's trained on how to work with narcissists. He doesn't shake his hand. Hello? Hi. That's all. Gives nothing. And I feel like he's like trained Ariana on like how to do it. And then there's like some random dude that keeps like dancing close to them, and I saw a lot of this on social media when it was filmed, and I think it was just a fan that got really drunk and was trying to get in on the action. He's just making all the girls uncomfortable, but then he gets in a fight with security, and of course Sandoval involves himself because it's his show. He has to make it all about him because it's Sandoval. And so Sheena's then getting ready to like perform, good as gold. I don't love Brock, but I love how supportive he is. Like, he really is. If I could have a payroll husband, I would want him to do all the things like he does for Sheena, for me. It's kind of funny seeing Sandoval though like vibe and like chill to like the song APLES. How you like them? I love this new song. Like, for a Bravo song, it's really good. But seeing Sandoval vibe to it, kind of funny. Kind of funny, you have to admit. When Brock puts the guitarist on his head, I died. I died because, like, if I was a big Jason Momoa looking man, like, just being like, ugh, I wish they showed, like, because it just cut to Brock and, like, he was on his shoulders. I wish I could saw like how that went down, how Brock like motioned to him, like, hey, get on my shoulders, and him getting on the ground, like, how was that exchange? Should he keep like, those are the questions that aren't being answered. And then it was very adorable the moment after, Sheena being like, am I in the band? Like, is it for real? Is it official? Like, I love the vulnerability of it. Giving me something. I can forgive you, Shishi, for a lot because you're giving me story with this whole music thing. ABC, complete finish. And then Sheena's annoys me again. And then she goes to talk to Ariana and, like, brings up Sandoval again and makes it about herself. But it turns into, like, a beautiful moment of Ariana explaining, like, I love you. You're my girl. We're family. I got you. I'm here for you. And it is kind of a beautiful moment. Then Tom Sandoval interrupts it and fucks everything up because that's what he does. And because he sees, oh, we're going to start wrap filming soon. It's the finale. They didn't get the big scene between me and Ariana. And you see then Ariana talking to the producers saying, stop. He wants me for his redemption arc. He never once tried to talk to me off camera. She really gave it to them when she broke down what uninformed consent is. And he didn't care she died in a ditch from a deadly STD. Like, he did not care. Sandoval then, though, so Ariana, like, is basically like, I'm not filming with him, and walks out. Sandoval says all she does is collects a check, it's nothing. And then Lala has to involve herself because she needs a storyline. And basically was like, she won't film with him, but she lives with him. And da-da-da-da-da, all this stuff. And they're like, we put our lives out there. Anyone else having this argument, I could listen to. But how many seasons did we listen to Lala not be honest and truthful? It's just a lot hearing it from her. If it was from Sheena, if it was from anyone else, really, but Lala, it's very uncomfortable. And I think I've been talking to a lot of my friends about this. So I heard that Lala filmed a lot of what went down with her and Randall. Obviously, Randall didn't film, but more of her story, and it was all cut out because of Sandoval. So I think this whole scene is just jealousy. It's just jealousy coming out, which sucks. And the montage of when they were all so young, it just like, that's what made it feel like a series finale, not a season finale, of like Katie. Oh, why does Katie look better now though that she's older? Like, she looked beautiful always, but she low-key like looks better now. And then the last 2 seconds where Sandoval says, oh, it's good for me, like, gross. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What an episode. Do you guys think VPR is coming back? I don't know how they will. I think it might. How is it going to? I don't know. I was going to talk about New Jersey today, but honestly, I didn't like it. it didn't bring me joy. And I just want to talk about things that make me happy. So we're going to talk about Summer House, season 8, episode 12. So it opens up with the end of Carl and Lindsay's fight. You know, we're in the kitchen. Not even a fight, just Carl starting to finally be honest. Lindsay then says in her confessional, it's weird that Carl tells everything to his parents. And I would feel the same way. Like, I don't tell, my mom loves my partner. She doesn't need to know every fight. And I don't want him to tell his parents every fight either. It's kind of like the adult thing to do. And it's not saying hide stuff from your family, but you pick and you choose with your, it's like being an adult is set, like creating those boundaries, you know? Jesse says he felt something on his balls and he's terrified he has cancer again. And it's very actually, like, because you think the whole night, like, he's upset because Sierra called him a trash bag. It's clear he's anxious about having cancer again. Which is a story we don't really see in young people, especially young men. And, like, Jesse is very dynamic in other ways. And so this part of his story, it's interesting to me. Lindsay then goes to talk to the girls about everything. And this is kind of one of the first Summer House seasons where all the girls are, like, friends, kind of. Like, they all kind of get along. I kind of love it. Everything. Man, I just thought it was so funny how everyone was like, I think it was West when he was like, Jesse's sad because of his goldfish. He's acting like his goldfish died. And he's like, he's anxious. He has cancer again. It's about to be his 5-year checkup. So we had the tarot card reader and everyone gets their tarot read. Tarot says Paige will get married in 2024 and that's a wedding I would like to be invited to. Thank you. Don't know you, Paige. Don't know you, Craig. But I really feel like that would be a beautiful wedding. That's like the one wedding special like we have to have on Bravo. Like, take away all those Tamara's wedding, Nini's weddings, all those off of Peacock. Give me Paige and Craig. See Sierra and West in bed cuddling. So cute. Carl and Kyle go outside to smoke a cigar. And I know I said last week or maybe 2 weeks ago that Kyle's has no emotional capacity. He proved me wrong this scene. He does have some emotional capability, kind of both. Amanda then talks about creatively, like with, I believe, Paige, like how she's feeling, how she's getting excited, and next step is to bring it up to Kyle. And then Carl's like, I think I'm ready to tell Lindsay I want to work at Loverboy. I want to be in the non-alcoholic industry. They're outside talking, Sierra and Jesse, and she basically like apologizes for like calling him a trash bag, and they kiss and make up. Like, they actually kiss on the lips. Like, that was kind of hot. I would kind of like love to see Jesse and Sierra hook up. Like, that would be whoo-hoo. Carl then brings up working at Loverboy again, and the conversation starts pretty healthy. Gets defensive quick. And Carl keeps saying, like, he doesn't want critique. He wants support. And Lindsay's saying, I am practical. You are my partner. I'm trying to have an honest conversation. And this conversation is clear, like, it's not worth villainizing. Carl's the villain. Lindsay's the villain. That's over. It's good. These two people did not get married. They shouldn't have been getting married. Carl then goes to all the boys, and he just basically, like, says, like, all she does is critique me. All she does is critique me. And Lindsay goes to the girls and says, he won't listen to me. He won't be practical with our money. And she points out this point that she feels like because Carl's not practical, she needs to run the ship. And that's why it's not a turn on having to take care of everything for your man. Like, it's not sexy to lead the ship all the time. And then Sierra incorrectly uses the term passenger princess between two straight people, calls Carl passenger princess. Love the attempt at representation, though, Sierra. Sierra, if you could just have a gay girl explain what a passenger princess is, please and thank you. Kind of love how Jesse says he sees both sides. Swiss King. Kyle and Jesse jump into the... Oh, so then later... So that was all, like, during their pool day. But then they all go get on this very chic pontoon. Jesse and Kyle immediately jump into the water. Kyle loses his shorts. Like, completely loses his shorts. And thank God Sierra had some shorts that fit Kyle. I would not want those shorts back, though. Oh, and Kyle has maybe the widest ass I've ever seen. Like, it is wider than printer paper. Wes tells Paige he's taking Sierra horseback riding, and Paige says the classic, "If you hurt her, I will kill you." I know all girls say that, but I will. Paige, I want to see you come for Wes at the reunion. I really do. And then Paige confronts Wes about sleeping with other girls, and Wes is like, "I'm not sleeping with anyone. I'm open because I'm not having sex with Sierra." And cheers to you, Wes, for being the first, like, non-douchey dude on Summer House. Yeah, I think he is. And then Amanda brings up building her own brand with Kyle, and he completely shuts her down. He doesn't listen to her. He just immediately brings up how it will affect him. Doesn't even ask her, "What's your idea?" Like, it was really, really sad. And he says he's nervous because Loverboy hasn't been profitable, this, that, the other. All fair concerns. Later. Right now you say, you want to have your own thing. You want to feel like your own person. Me as your partner, not your boss. Let me support you. So they're all coming back. And that fucking door in the Hamptons. Like, I hope that homeowner get it fixed, because every time they are attempting to open the door, I just cringe. Jesse is crying outside about his cancer appointment and breaks down in tears. And I've seen it in, like, scripted stuff, but you don't see it on reality shows, especially on Bravo. 2 straight men saying, "I'm really scared. Please help me. Please hold me. Please love me." And that other guy embracing him, and it's no question about the vulnerability, or it's really beautiful. And you can critique Jesse Solomon about a lot of things, and Wes as well, but I thank you for that moment. Like, as someone, I watch Bravo because I don't really like straight men. That gave me hope. Kyle then brings up the conversation from the boat to Amanda. It starts off nice, but then she says he's only concerned about himself, and Kyle just has an absolute fit. He storms out, and he calls Amanda a bitch. Like, not to her face, like, storming out, but, like, Ezra would never call me a bitch. My partner would not call me a bitch. Like, or at least I hope. I don't think he would. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't call me a bitch. See, I feel gaslit by watching, like, Men on Bravo. And then I got the absolute lick when he was like, "We all have dreams. I want to be a DJ." Ick. Like, whatever was healed from Jesse Solomon and Wes hugging, unhealed from Kyle saying he wants to be a DJ. And then super double triple ick when he said if Amanda actually worked for him, he would have fired her. I hate you, Kyle. Amanda, you should leave him. Okay. This was a really fun episode. Thank you so much. Guys, follow me on YouTube. I'm going to start posting other content. We're going to do some fun stuff for the reunion episodes. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Tell your friends. Okay, thanks. Bye. Yeah.